Void versus Puck, so maybe it's just Puck, not the mid lane. But they've kind of had rough times where the game snowballed out of control, but I wouldn't expect that today. I think it's more so going to be mid lane stable and whether side lanes kind of snowball one way or the other.
Also considering how important the laning are right now, like it's really important to have the synergy between position 3 and 4, like same as like a safe lane, and you almost like need to have like those two players to be like a friends, because like it was the same for me when I was playing with Zeiss. Like we had an incredible like you know, working together time, because like we understood each other very well. We were friends, and this is like what's important for these players as well, like to have that synergy and like, you know, talk about mistakes, like improve on laning and understand each other without any words sometimes.
How would you compare Quinn and Nothing to Say in the mid lane, whether it's hero pool, whether it's the importance their team places on them? How would you describe them or compare them, Gunnar?
They're honestly pretty different mids. I think Quinn, when you think of him, you think of him as more either a Spirit or a counter pick. Like he played Huskar, and he plays the Necrophos, these like kind of annoying heroes that just it feels really bad to play versus. And I would say Nothing to Say, outside of his Tinker, I think he's a lot more of, he just plays his good heroes. He's really confident playing just the same heroes all the time. He plays Ember, Pango. He plays a lot of Magnus for a long time, which is kind of coming back in this tournament. So I think for Quinn, you're looking more for this guy to snowball the game for you, win the game for you, and Nothing to Say to just have a solid game plan.
All right, we'll see if they're going to draft around that. We're going to see any new picks for them or what's going to be banned, as we do have our lower bracket grand final game 1.
LGD Gaming versus Gaming Gladiators. Game 1.
Ban Bristle is what the audience is saying. How much weight would you put into that one, Gunnar?
For LGD, I think Bristle is one of gaming's best strategies, especially because it's Ace. You allow Ace to get a carry in the off lane. That's pretty much his bread and butter. He plays Lone Druid. He used to be a carry, so it's not surprising that he's able to play the carries in the off lane, win his lane, and just have a stable game.
I don't think Bristleback is getting through, guys, ever again. I think that hero is way too hard to deal with, and you know, when the AA is banned, and like, what is the best answer for you, Gunnar, against this hero?
So I think one of the big reasons why Bristle's so strong is his counters are also meta, so it ends up that the Primal Beast gets banned, the Phoenix gets banned, the AA gets banned, and so all of your responses to Bristle are just banned due to the nature of the draft, and so it's just a strong hero now.
Yeah, and the Viper and Hood Incarnate.
Yeah, the other ways to break him and reduce his HP regen don't really exist anymore. So
I love what LGD did against Bristleback when they were playing. They had this Magnus, and they always like break his positioning because he's always in the front. And they managed to take him with his Cure like way back into his own team, and then Muerta like with the extra damage to stop that hero, it actually works. But and also you don't get damage from when you're in ulti, you don't get damage from spells. But yeah, it's not gonna be seen anytime soon.
I see the and the Chen ban here, so a lot of importance placed on taking out what they deem as Celery's most confident and broken heroes. But now I see Chaos Knight left in the pool as well, which is another one that has seen ban after ban after ban.
And Primal Beast is letting through too.
True, I didn't even notice that one.
I want to see Primal Beast so bad.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm begging them to ban CK. I mean, they probably just take it. They have first pick. I'm really glad to see the Chen ban, though. I think a lot of teams seem to be kind of disrespecting Game, and I think they kind of showed early on that they're capable of this death ball type lineup. Let's go, Primal! Woo! Alright, but they show that they can go fast and hard, and they're like super happy to just run you over, and we still see teams picking like Naga first phase against them. It's like you cannot disrespect Gaimin in this way, especially when you leave the Chen in the pool, even to the second phase. So LGD taking that Chen out, I'm very happy to see it.
Also the Enchantress, I think Kana does the same thing, whereas they both win their lanes, they're very stable, which leads Dyrachyo kind of gets to do his own thing, and Celery can help Quinn, which is again kind of their bread and butter. And they buy auras, they push towers really fast. It's kind of everything they want in one package.
I also like that LGD chose to let the Primal Beast through, because I think for Ace, that hero is not really what he's looking for, specifically because he used to play like this Lone Druid Bristleback type of hero that are more scalable, but for Primal Beast he doesn't scale as much, like in terms of like at least tower push, right? Like he's not gonna be like the hero who's gonna take all the towers from the LGD. So it's already like, I think it's good for LGD that they don't have that pressure already starting from the first pick. And I like the Chen and Enchantress bans for sure.
The nice thing with the Primal is Quinn's been practicing and playing it quite a bit in his pubs and his games. So it ends up being a flex as well. So you can't just end up just instant picking a carry counter pick or a mid counter pick because it'll go to both. I would say they're valuing it more as an offlaner right now, just due to how kind of the map setup that the offlaners get more farm than the mids right now. And Primal Beast is a hero that can farm really fast with just trampling over camps and waves at the same time. So it ends up just becoming a stronger core in the offlane if you get away with the lane.
Is that every team is doing that, or more Gaming Gladiators specific when you get your hands on a Primal?
I don't know if I can speak for most teams, because some teams, their offlaners don't play Primal, so it ends up just kind of being forced to mid. But for gaming, I would say right now I'd expect this to be an offlane.
Yeah.
Primal's like weird when it goes off lane because it can be punishable, but there's ways to bring it back into the game. Like, for example, your 4 can go and stack like the triangle, and it's very easy for him to take stacks with trample. And also, you're kind of just waiting for this timing, right? We've seen Primals in the off lane get absolutely obliterated, but as soon as they hit that BKB timing, it's just, his spells do so much damage just alone. Like, you don't even need anything more than that BKB. That's when like games have turned around and they've made these comebacks. Primal is such a hero not to be underestimated.
I mean, it's also very hard to take him down, right? There's not a lot of things that could do that in this meta. I mean, I think Muerta would be nice, but it's already out of the question. And I mean, for Primal, usually pick they don't really go for BKBs nowadays. They also go for different item builds, like with the Blade Lane, Heart, and just trade chaos.
Usually the important thing is picking a stun for the safe lane. You want to pick a Sven, a Chaos Knight are the important ones, not just because they have the damage to like out CS the Primal, but mostly because they have a stun to prevent the trample. And something really interesting with the Phoenix is good in the game versus Primal with the Sunray just doing % damage, kind of chewing through Primal's health. But in the lane, the Fire Spirits don't really affect you. You don't attack, you're disarmed anyway while trampling. So it ends up actually being a really comfortable lane for Primal there.
I completely agree with you. I think something like Clockwork is way better than having the things there against the Primal lane.
Yeah, purely for the lane. It kind of secures, you can pick a range carry then. The popular carries versus Primal are either melee with stun or a ranged hero with kite.
I'm sure the LGD want to put this Phoenix on the offlane with the Centaur for now. Like, at least I would be thinking about that.
I would guess now for Gaimin, if they want, they have Grimstroke available for them. If they do want to, I mean, it's just good for any side lane, but if they do want Primal in the offlane, it's going to especially be nice there.
They're probably going to end up taking their carry, which is really cool from the Centaur pick, because now if Gaming wants to instantly counter, they can get carry counter pick for the side of LGD plus the lane counter with the Primal Beast. So it's kind of this weird position where if you delay your carry too long, you're allowing the Centaur to be free in the draft, and if you pick it now, you open up, you know, Duracho to get countered in the game, which we've seen him counter pick with the Razor yesterday, where it had a rough game, and I was even worried that it would carry, but he just ended up destroying the game with how good of a Razor it was.
I love this Lifestealer ban. I think it's the only 2 teams that are actually rating this hero at all. Because nobody else are really looking for that one. And Duracho is like, he's known for his Lifestealer as well.
Yeah, we saw it yesterday in the Azure Race series versus Bepboom, and the strongest thing about the Lifestealer is that he sits in his lane for 10 to 12 minutes and you can never kick him out, which really hurts how Gaming Gliders wants to play. They want to move their heroes around, take the towers really fast, and when there's a carry that's sitting in the lane and you can never pressure into him, it feels really bad for how you want to move around the map.
Yeah, and for Gaming to have that hero on your safe lane and not care about like how to make his gameplay better and like have complete freedom on supports. You know, this is what they excel at. Like, their 2 supports are usually running around mid lane and helping CCNC to, you know, do all this pressure and like start from the mid lane. This is like what this team is really excel at.
Bigum did end up getting picked up by the way, Sheep. That was one that you were talking about.
It's just a really powerful hero. I mean, you play around this Inkswell, like, purge of the stuns. It makes it so hard for anyone. Like, you're playing with a Primal already who's just going to want to go in and destroy everyone. Like, this Grimstroke on top of that elevates his, like, strengths throughout all stages of the game. Early, mid to late. I think the hero is just... To be given so freely to Gaimin, I think was rough for LGD. And now they have a Silencer on top of that to cover their team fight.
I mean, looking at these 3 heroes, like, I don't really like it for Gladiators that much, just purely because they're going away from their idea of like pressuring so much, and I think it benefits LGD because in that game, like the normal game where there's not a lot of pressure, I think this is like their best chance of like taking the series down.
I also think, so the way the draft kind of plays out these days is the second phase is really hard to ban heroes. as they only get one ban for the side of LGD. So they end up picking the one hero that they think is the best, the Lifestealer, and they have to give up the Grim, they have to give up anything else. So pretty much the only bans you really get and feel confident about are the first phase, and they chose to take out pretty much Celery's heroes. They take out the Chen Ench, which I think are his top 2 right now in this tournament, and so now you see him force the Silencer. And yeah, as you said, I don't really feel too confident with this, just because it's moving into, they're playing into LGD's book, I would say, and that is something that has not really gotten them to where they are right now in the tournament.
And the Shadow Demon is such a great pickup to stop in this Primal Beast from doing anything in the mid game. Like, the lane might be rough a little bit, but I mean, looking at their support, right, they don't have really a good way of stopping him, but in the mid game, like playing against Purge and the Shadow Demon as a Primal Beast is actually impossible.
Yeah, it's also really good for Grimstroke. You can purge the Ink Swell anytime you see a hero. The Primal, surprisingly, it purges the charge, so he can't even charge out when he gets purged.
Yes, exactly.
And the defensive purge is really nice for Silencer too. Maybe he can click it on the Phoenix early in the fight. The Phoenix will always get stuff off. And we see the cow.
I mean, the cow is amazing here as well, because those 2 supports, they don't have really a good mechanic to stop him from charging. Neither it's Primal Beast, so they're gonna have to think about buying Yules on somebody to be able to stop his charges, but it's still like, we've seen so many times the Spirit Breaker is just like going first in the net first, like even after losing his lane horribly, it doesn't matter. As soon as you buy like Midas and Nocturne, you're just pushing every wave, and then you have this mechanic of like coming back to the fights from anywhere else. And I think it's really important in this patch to have one of those heroes that can connect easily to the fight and like being on the other side of the map. So it's either like Spectre, Dawnbreaker, or Spirit Breaker. That's why those heroes are seen more.
All right, so there's some really quick stuff. Quinn played versus Spirit Breaker mid, because that's what this is. We see the Centaur, so we know that this will be Nothing to Say's hero. And it was versus 9 Pandas, Kiyotaka, and he absolutely destroyed the Spirit Breaker. And as we talked about earlier, Quinn's this type of player who you give him a counter pick like Necro versus a melee strength hero, and he's going to do some work in the game. I honestly was thinking that they might put the Primal mid, because that was the matchup he played versus 9 Pandas, whereas Primal versus Spirit Breaker, he solo killed the lane, the game ended in 20-something minutes. But they picked Necro, which is, if anything, is a stronger lane now versus Spirit Breaker, so I would be really confident now just for the fact that they have a hero to play around with Quinn.
Yeah. Even like despite that, I kind of don't like the supports on LGD. I think that they're both not high on burst damage, they're pretty slow. I think it's much easier for Gaimin to make moves. You talked about how they like to kind of crush early. I think now with this winning mid matchup, I think they can make much more plays, or they can even just kind of play it chill and wait for their timings on Primal or whoever, and just make sure that they're playing defensively where they use Global to cover any ganks that LGD try and make.
Yeah, it seems like they don't really think about like going to the mid game and like how Necrophos might be bad against Porch and like not, you know, like not being that tanky core, but at the same time like they're just looking purely on lanes and they're like, this Necrophos is gonna stomp the Spirit Breaker so hard that you're gonna like, you know, completely run them over. But I'm still worried because usually their lineups, they have this good tower damage and this is how they were able to close the games out so fast. But on this lineup specifically, there's no like hero that, you know, kills tower, so they need to find some material like Turtle Blade or something from the Russia side that actually like helps them take down the objectives in this game.
A lot of their success with the Necrophos ends up pairing it with other push or other healing. They picked it with Dazzle offlane in the past, where they both just ball up and they go just end the game. And they probably picked it with Tides and Chen, so they don't really have the draft that you win 20 minutes and you walk down the lane yet. We'll see what Duracho ends up picking, but I would say it's outside of Terrorblade, that's not really his hero pool. He doesn't really pick the early game.
Alchemist.
That's one way to up the
To me,
tempo.
this game looks like the game won against Liquid, where they chose to go for a regular lineup, and it didn't really work for them, and they lost that game to Liquid. So I think that, like, to me, it looks at least that this is the game for LGD. If they manage to like get out from the lanes evenly, or like not super stomped, and you know, going to the mid game, I think they have way better chances.
I want to trust this Spirit Breaker. I think Spirit Breaker is a crazy hero, but I'm too worried about the mid matchup going away for Gaming Gladiators, so I think that Quinn will just stomp the mid lane and just carry the momentum throughout the whole game.
Do you think even if the Spirit Breaker does get shut down in lane, he's still going to have that disruption in team fights and will still have an impact that could carry a later game for LGD?
There's one hero I would want to get crushed on mid, it'd be Spirit Breaker.
Okay.
So he has that going for him.
That one small glimmer of hope.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. Although, that being said, I really like Gaimin's speed that they can pull up here. I think like when Alchemist gets his Blink Dagger and they're able to kind of move around the map and be really fast about it, I think LGD are going to struggle playing into this global.
Anything else you guys want to talk about very quickly, especially this arc? We've seen it a couple times for Dyrachyo. Is it going to be that thing that ties it all together, the make or break for Gaming Gladiators? Quickly, Gunnar?
Yeah, I think the Alchemist lane is going to be really stable top, and he'll have a really good time, and just they have so much time to make space for him, just bodies on the map and pressure, that he'll have a good time farming his Radiance.
All right, I like it. Let's see how much confidence Gaming Gladiators coach has in their draft.
Thank you very much. I am standing by with CY of Gaming Gladiators, who you had a late night last night, my man. How much time did you have to prepare for today as a whole? Did you only get to prepare for LGD, or did you prepare for LGD and Spirit?
We only prepared for LGD. We didn't have that much time as well. I also want to get some sleep. It's pretty important, but one game at a time, you know? So no preparation for Spirit.
One game at a time, and you come up with a silencer. What's this guy doing in this draft for you guys?
Hopefully he silences Phoenix.
I never knew Dota was just that simple. Now, you only got to prepare for LGD, but I remember that during the Riyadh Masters, you and I got quite a few opportunities to interact, and you seemed confident in your lower bracket run. It unfortunately got cut short at 4th place. Why should I believe you this time that you're going to make it all the way?
I mean, this time we already made it to 3rd, right? So it's better than last time. So you should just believe.
Seattle, you ready to watch some Dota? Let's get lower bracket finals started.
Let's indeed. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It's LGD up against Gaming Gladiators to start off this final day of the International. Fog, we heard there from CY, coming in with a bit of a different pick this game on Gaming Gladiators' side, the Silencer. Could this be the answer to the Phoenix, a hero that we're seeing time and time again so far this tournament?
Definitely feels like a kind of cool pick, a very different one style here. Very good versus the Phoenix, but also versus these saves that we've been seeing a lot coming out in this tournament. The Shadow Demon in particular, we've seen so many games where people just get bailed out of certain death. Very difficult if you're global, so we'll have to see itemization and stuff. Of course, there's going to be some demonic cleanses that you can pre-cast and stuff like that. We'll get all into that as we do have release smoke from LGD.
Let's see if they can get the catch in. And with the wraparound, trying to enter into Gaming Gladiators' jungle, but Gaming Gladiators, they're hovering around that mid-tier 1 tower in a bit of a tough point of the map for LGD to strike.
Very unlikely somebody gets caught out here. Gaming,
yeah,
very prepared.
Super prepared.
Yep.
They know this sort of play is going to be coming out here.
I'm looking forward to this one. This looks like it should be a pretty fight-heavy style draft.
I'll say that though, Dyrachyo and Celery, they kind of step across. Let's set up with a disruption, you. Looking for the follow who's the contention's there. Tries to hold him back, doesn't matter. And you still fight the hook. Come on to Celery. Celery taken down. First blood for LGD. See if they can find something in return. Gaming Gladiators to curse upon you. They will at least get the trade. Quinn not able to get the first blood, but still getting that kill as the mid lane is going to feel pretty good for him as the Necrophos.
Especially versus that Spirit Breaker in particular too. This is a matchup that Quinn could snowball out of control, just like Panel was talking about. Planet messing with Dyrachyo quite a bit here.
He's going to try and make it a little bit more awkward for him on his way back towards that top lane. Extra bit of damage coming in. And he'll certainly have money to play with as he was the one indeed to get that first blood for LGD.
Planet not hesitating whatsoever. Instantly buys out pretty much everything. I think triple mangoes purchased up, so he's looking to be pretty aggressive up here. A pretty strong lane. I don't think that we've seen too much anymore. I know the Centaur a ton, but Centaur and Shadow Demon, an old classic. Very aggressive as well.
A lot of damage. If these two start to get a bit of a level advantage, this Alchemist and Silencer could end up being very vulnerable against the huge amounts of burst that these two can come out within the laning stage. Gaming Gladiators, they've got to be careful up there.
Yeah, absolutely. This is probably the lane where lots of chaos is going to be happening. Mid lane, I think we already kind of expect the Quinn should be able to take advantage of this one massively versus nothing to say. Bottom lane, this one could also be pretty kill heavy as well too, especially for the side of Gaming already.
They're getting right in underneath the tower. Shiro in trouble. One more snap from Ace will get the job done. Shiro taken down. Ace will lose his life, but happily taking that trade. They're getting in and taking the carry out.
This is going to be bloodthirsty in these side lanes.
And overall as well, what did you sort of take away from the carry decisions from both teams? Because it was quite a quick pick with the Luna in response to the Alchemist coming out at the end from Gaming Gladiators. Do you feel this was what LGD were going for anyway, or do you think this was directly because of the Alch being picked?
I think it probably could have been something they were looking for anyway because of the Necrophos. I know Shiro, he's one of the few players that I've seen that's actually still doing this like 3-1-1 build even in the early game. He's very aggressive, likes to be involved early on, so maybe it's that mixed magical physical damage they wanted just to be able to have versus the Necro as well too. And it fits for kind of this early style with the Shadow Demon that can look to brawl and fight often. So probably a couple mixtures of things that they did want with it. Also, it's going to be very good for this Night Vision, of course, too. Playing with the Spirit Breaker, playing with this Luna Night Vision can be pretty strong inside of these team fights.
So far, looking at the last hit, that's the mid lane, as you say, as expected. The edge here for Quinn.
But look at Ace's last hits right now, bottom. Does get that kill early on, of course, but he's only got 3 to his name versus Shiro at the moment.
Getting to the point already where it's not easy for Nothing to Say to sort of approach this mid wave, as they will take huge amounts of damage and favorable trade going the way of it's Quinn Necrophos in this 1v1. Top lane, Duraccio. He's in a bit of trouble. He's got the concoction cooking up. Is he able to throw it out? He holds it for the deny. All right, that'll get the job done. He's out of lane for a few seconds, but at least able to stop LGD from getting the kill against him.
But he is really struggling on the last hit department. So far, New and Planet bringing it to him. I knew didn't win yesterday, but made some pretty amazing plays on his side.
Look at this in the mid lane. It's getting pretty nasty. Quinn just sort of running Nothing to Say right back underneath the tier 2.
He's just
what do you do at this point in this 1v1?
At the least, he can go back and he can just charge out and stuff, right? So he can make moves all over the match, but it's a matchup that he knows he's going to inevitably lose. But it is at least a hero that can make moves around and is probably one of the best recovery heroes in the game at the moment, so.
For sure. And for Gaming Gladiators, they need Quinn to be having this sort of start in the mid, because as we're seeing on the side lanes, it's not going quite as well for them.
Yeah, they need somebody to be able to rally around, especially if the Alchemist is having this slow of a start for Duraccio. Nice attempt there from Planet, trying to catch the wave. Unable to. Level 3, another big kill threat that they're going to be able to have up here on the side of LGD. Bottom though, Ace continuing to get aggressive.
And they've got the Inks well stunned. It'll allow them to set up to take down Why You Smile. Gladiators, whilst they might not be getting the easiest to farm here for Ace down bottom, they're finding action. Top lane, Duraccio. Gonna fall pretty low here to the poisons, won't quite die. Both New and Planet also getting beaten down pretty low by Celery.
If he gets another one, could be a kill.
She's cooking up a concoction.
One more.
If anything, he's just going to allow Planet to try and find further connections, but the fourth's not there.
Nope.
I'll turn towards Celery instead. New, he's stepping up. He's got a hoof stomp and a double A. Celery, he could be in a lot of trouble here. New will go with the right clicks alone and take Celery down. Backs away. Makes sure not to use the double H to bring himself too low. Back up, comes in. Nothing to Say with the rotation. Charges forward on towards Duraccio. Duraccio this time will not be able to deny himself. Planet gets the kill.
I mean, these two, honestly, Planet and New yesterday were making magic happen again, putting a ton of pressure up here. The Silencer's trying to dissuade the pressure, of course, with those arcane curses, but they're just waiting, patient. And as you said there, they understand. Don't use the double edge.
Exactly.
Just go for the right clicks. Very, very calculated.
New in particular really knowing his limits on this hero, playing aggressively despite his HP being incredibly low in these situations.
And there you see right away, it's like, yeah, he's losing the mid lane on the Spirit Breaker, but I think Spirit Breaker, Primal Beast, probably two of the best heroes that can just easily make those rotations, gets a good connection. But yeah, Quinn, he definitely will be an issue that they're going to have to find some answers. And they do have answers.
I was going to say,
as game progresses, they've got the Demonic Purge. It's always going to be able to remove the Ghost Shard. They've got this massive amount of magic damage that comes from Phoenix and potentially from the Luna. As he's not going for the beam build just yet, but of course he'll have those points in later.
So overall for LGD, the fact that they know that Quinn's getting this completely uninterrupted free farm in the mid lane, you don't think they're too concerned about that?
No, I don't think so. I mean, there's going to be, of course, a lot of plays that happen with these, global silences that can just potentially save Quinn versus a lot of the burst and whatnot, but they probably feel like they do have some answers since they have that mixed magic.
Nothing to Say shows in the mid.
That's deep. They lift the wave.
Ofu not quite able to connect with the initial slow. See Quinn should be able to close in with the Inkswell buff upon him. He's got the sight ready to drop down. If he feels that the kill's going to be there, he'll drop it, and he's got it. Quinn able to take down Nothing to Say. Same time on top, though. Duraccio and his spotted bother being chased out by LGD, completely surrounded by the three of them. Disruption's there to try and mess up the ability for him to fire his concoction. It will self-stun and cause the stun to hit onto New, but it won't save Duraccio as he goes down once again.
Planet actually even holding the poisons. I think maybe just saving that kill there for New. Some calculation coming in 5-4. Action-packed early game.
I mean, this top lane, he's sort of been, knocked out of this top lane 3 times already, Duraccio. It's not getting any easier for him up here.
He's got pretty much nothing right now. I mean, 2,400 gold, so he's similar as that Spirit Breaker, but level 3 only on the Alchemist so far.
Now soon to be hitting, level 5 on New.
Yep.
Massive amounts of bursts going to be coming in. They've got this decently sized creep wave pushing forward in towards them as well. So LGD in a very happy spot in this top lane in particular.
Yeah, they're starting to leave Ace alone down bottom. Tofu's trying to rectify what's going on up top, trying to help out Duraccio.
Yeah, they hit it with the scan though, LGD. So New, he'll be knowing to stay safe, too close to the tower. He's unlikely to be caught out by this rotation.
Nice attempt there by Y. Ace. Maybe gonna force a dive here. He actually stops it as well, too.
Very well played, but at the same time, why are you smiling? He's down to the low ground with the Sunray.
That was so quick, the Sunray, but can he get away?
I don't know if he can. He's going to have a few spirits to throw down onto Ace. Lucent Beam as well, trying to hold Ace back. He's going to continue to run this down. Another spirit out, slowing down the attack speed. It's enough to actually allow Smile to get away. Meanwhile, back on the top side of the map, Dyrachyo got taken down once again. This time, Quinn turns up. Wants to try and make LGD pay for it. They will get near in return, but they won't get nothing to say. Just another instance now where Dyrachyo, he is not having fun up here.
He certainly isn't, but New does have to be a little cautious. The one thing about Centaur playing versus Silencer, don't want to die too much. Giving up that int can be a problem for the hero.
Precise
Another
back up, Quinn's in with the burst. It's another side kill here for Quinn.
This Necro, I think that's what Boots Travel finished up, so his movement around the map is going to get faster and faster. Now looking to pressure. He's going to get good damage onto this tower here. Good thing that Y's there to at least drag a little bit, but Quinn just starts chasing.
He's in under the tower. Celery, he's getting dove here by the two of them. I don't think there'll be any TP backup for this poor old Silencer, though he's coming in now, but Celery will still fall. Planet finishes off the kill. Question is if Gaming Gladiators can find something in return. Dyrachyo is able to step in, throw down the concoction. These are big kills for Gladiators to be picking up. Same time down bottom, Ace chased upon by nothing to say, and Shiro, the ultimate up in a second here for the Spirit Breaker, but he can't quite find the vision, nothing to say. So Ace, he'll walk out alive once more.
A good attempt, but just a bit too tanky. You see that he actually did put at least 2 points in the Lucent Beam. Most of these players have been going for like the 1-1-3 build, not able to get the kill, but a good attempt. Top 3 cores on the side of Gaming Gladiators, even though Dyrachyo is dying a lot of time. He's still doing pretty decent, all things considered.
Especially with the fact that those kind of last 2 deaths on New on that top lane, definitely swinging things back in favor of Gaming Gladiators.
And now can they hold on to this mid tower is the question. Planet surrounded.
Another easy kill here for Quinn to get involved in, now dominating on the Necrophos.
And he knows immediately the Shadow Demon was getting those stacks up. We'll be able to take him away instantly. Aggressive posturing by Gaming Gladiators again. Playing around Quinn with this strong start.
Yeah, they can play aggressively around him on this mid area of the map, and at the same time, if LGD look for any moves now in the side lanes with the boots of travel, Quinn, he's likely to be there every single time. So whilst LGD got away with those early kills, the difficulty, it stepped up massively. Making the moves for LGD, it's no longer easy.
No, and nobody wants to go mid, right? They have YU Smile here just trying to slow down the push, just throwing Fire Spirits on the wave, but the tower inevitably dropping very soon. Quinn, very active as smoke, moving toward top New. He shows himself.
Yeah, Scythe's back up. He's ready to look for another stack. See if New's able to play as well. That's the looks of it. They sort of avoided one another. New will be able to get around from this one. They'll hit him with the scam, but he's already back to the safety of his side of the map. So New nicely avoiding that move there.
It's actually both scans. They used immediately, both of them trying to find him, so he was able to sneak himself away from that at the least. Ace will be able to clean up some jungle. Is going down the Blade Mail route. Pretty good Blade Mail game versus this Luna versus the Phoenix, I think, across the board. And very early aggressive wards that we're seeing Gaming already placing down, so they're going to have good information. When you're playing versus something like Spirit Breaker, if he has such a hard lane, you know he doesn't want to return back mid. When they get these deep wards down, you're going to see these charges coming through, so they're going to have a lot of information to play off in these next few moments.
I mean, what do LGD do for the next move? They're going to try and go on bottom, but the Global Silence comes out. Ace, he's ready to turn, goes back in with the ultimate straight on towards Shiro. The sight's there, they've got the burst. Quinn turns up, takes him down. As at this point in the game, it feels just so incredibly difficult for LGD to make any sort of moves, but at the same time, they don't want to sit back and farm because on the other side of the map, there's an Alchemist picking things up.
I think it's still a bold attempt to go for this Primal. He is very tanky, 1400 HP already. They are quite lacking in the damage early game. Quick rotation. This tower gonna get pressured massively here. They will be able to hold on to their mid tower at the least and get some levels on the Phoenix, but damage being done here from Gaming Gladiators early on. They're opening it up for Dyrachyo to get good timing. So he's got 4 deaths. He's about to have his Sacred Relic already done.
It really seems like it didn't matter. Catching up massively. LGD, where do they go next?
Difficult for Luna as well too. If you do start struggling in this game, the heroes that you have to run you down. There's a Primal Beast, there's this Necro who's going to be immensely tanky, and a Radiance that's going to come out soon. LGD need to start getting something going in their favor.
They've got the top tier 1, but TPs are coming in from Gaming Gladiators. So if they're able to catch anything, Quinn not quite able to get in reach of New with the Inkswell. As LGD, they'll get the objective and they won't lose anything for it.
Look where nothing to say is being forced to try to find farm. He's just on the outskirts, trying to get anything. It looks like it was scouted out though. I mean, they were pinging it. Yeah, Celery, he seems to know something's up.
And that's sort of one way to get back in the game as a mid-Spirit Breaker. It's just not easy. Looking for kills, looking for action. It's not LGD's strong point right now against the tools that Gaming Gladiators have managed to amass.
No, and overall, too, he's playing into the Primal Beast, which is a hero that just doesn't even care about status or just if he gets the grab onto the Shiro again. In trouble.
He's put the Lucifer Beam just in time to hold Ace back, and he's able to get out of the range of the Inkswell. Soulbind now onto the two supports. Gaming Gladiators, they continue to move forward. They've dropped the burst, they've dropped the side, not quite enough damage to burst.
The egg is down. Good spot.
Pops the egg. They can't quite take it out. Quinn and Celery, they're trying to hit it, but they can't stop the Supernova. It's a turnaround from LGD. They're taking out Tofu. They're taking out Celery. They'll bring Quinn low.
Taracho.
Can LGD get more out of this? Both Ace and Quinn incredibly low at the side of the fight. Taracho on the retreat. Nothing to say. Charges it over towards Quinn. Who's stopped from you? Double edge as well. They've got the first. They take down a fourth. LGD strike back hard.
Beautiful connection. What an egg. Right in the middle of everybody. Gaming tried to go for a very early aggressive play here. The Reaper doesn't do much damage at all.
Oh, they needed that. They needed that big time. An amazing fight there for LGD.
A big wombo combo team fight abilities connecting perfectly there.
We'll see the move again. You know, Gaming Gladiators, they walk right into this. I mean, it looked like a solid start going for Shiro, but between the Stampede, the holdback of the Lucent Beam, avoiding that initial attempt from Ace, they feel good and they get the Soulbind. It's an early sight, but it's one that you feel tempted to go for because they're linked together, but it's just a bit too soon. The burst isn't there, and at this point, I think you got the Fire Spirits out as well. The Houston's new. They just didn't allow Gaming Gladiators any chance to take down this egg.
I honestly, like, pretty beautiful spell casting coming out across the board. Planet, even with that little disruption, buying time so that they both don't get grabbed from the Primal Beast.
They're going to try and go again here, Gaming Gladiators. This time, they might find Shiro. They're in on top of him. Soulbind's back up. The grab's there. Shiro won't survive this time round. Gaming Gladiators, not to be deterred after that, the way that their last fight went. They went straight back here. This time, they get the job done.
No hesitation. They know that they are pretty cooldown reliant to be able to turn those fights early game since they do have that little bit of a lead. They do have Global as well, too. That last fight, Celery didn't have it, so hanging on to it for the next upcoming fights. So with the clean up these Ancients, Radiance, it is finished. Seeing if Y is going to commit for this here. He has the Shard queued up very early on this Phoenix. I was expecting to maybe see that Midas queued up, but we'll have to see which route he wants to be able to go on this Phoenix.
Needs to calm down a little bit here from Gaming Gladiators. Definitely going to be a bit more careful about how they make that next move.
Yeah, I think if they're going to make that next move, they're likely to have the Global in particular, hesitate a little bit more with how far they go for the big dive. But LGD, feeling more confident here. Looking for Quinn as well, too.
Global comes out. They will manage to walk this off, so not the worst of situations there for LG. They'll feel quite good about that one, baiting the Global. Gives them a good few minute or so to make that next play without the threat of Celery being able to put a stop to their moves. So a successful bait of the ultimate from LGD.
Yeah, good trade. Demonic Purge only has like a 60-second cooldown, so that's going to be coming up pretty soon again if they want to make that aggressive move onto Quinn. It's always going to be a pretty good kill threat, just being able to make sure he can't ever get Ghost Shroud off, get the focus fire so he can't move. But
here's the smoke.
Every minute that anything slows down, the goalie just massively goes for Gaming Gladiators in seconds.
LGD, they've got to try and abuse this window, the Global Silence being unavailable for Gaming Gladiators.
Can they find Quinn? Can they pop him? At the ready.
It's underneath this ward setup from Gaming Gladiators. It's not an easy part for LGD to strike into whilst they lack the vision on the high ground. Ace giving a lot of information as well for Gladiators.
Their front line is just so tanky here.
All
three cores effectively are pretty tanky in the side of Gaming. Quinn almost has his heart finished up. So waiting to see if Tofu is actually queuing up his. Bit of a different route of items. He's actually going for the Yules. I mean, playing versus the Spirit Breaker, it's pretty common to see it. But, I mean, I think we've pretty much always seen those Grims go for those Shard right away. Just how effective it can be. But I guess maybe because of the Shadow Demon, he is hesitating for it a little bit just because that Demonic Purge. But we'll have to see.
Gladiators. You're going to have Quinn on the front lines. He's going to get caught in the opening combat for nothing to say, but he's still got space to play with. They jump for with the Soulbite there in response. Quinn, he's putting a turn with the side down on the two of them. Takes nothing to say out. Useful for the curse damage and Celery. The X successful, but there's no chance for LGD to fight aggressively off the back of it, why Ismail has to TP out of the fight.
I mean, your two tanky frontliners just get detonated right at the start of the fight. Egg connects, but doesn't really do much of anything. Tower now. So Gaming still want to go for even more kills as well, too. Daracho, full BKB. He feels pretty unkillable with this BKB on the Alchemist now. I mean, mostly magic damage on their draft early game here for LGD. This is just going to make Daracho pretty invincible. Yeah, Quinn looks like he does go for that shard before finishing up the heart, so he's got a bit more mobility versus the Shadow Demon as well. And they are controlling a lot of this map. I mean, they're denying a lot of farm away from LGD, from Shiro in particular.
Yeah, I think the concern as well for LGD is the fact that the one fight that they did have going in their favor, it was one that Gaming Gladiators handed to them. They're still yet able to find anything positive with regards to starting the action themselves and looking to make the initiation. It just hasn't happened from LGD.
Not easy into this draft versus these bruisers, versus these tanky cores. And yeah, the early BKB from Duracho, it's going to cause some big issues. Who do they really want to focus fire now at this point? Do you focus fire the BKB Alchemist? You probably have to go for these supports because these frontliners are just going to pretty much absorb everything that you throw at them. So now at the moment, no egg for 30 seconds. Gaming.
Ace and Quinn.
Keeping that farm going. Quinn.
He's able to dive away here while you smile, but Ace is closing in upon him. Why you smile, no egg, no dive at the ready, there's no chance for survival.
Another kill.
Nothing to say.
He is very deep.
He's going to be okay. Gets the charge off in time before Duracho is able to find him. So still doing his best to pick up what he can across the map and continue to try and catch up towards getting that Octarine done. It's still going to take time though for him.
Gonna take time, and it's always still going to be issues because he doesn't have ways to really protect himself besides that. This big burst that comes out from Reaper, the grab that comes out from the Primal Beast, always going to be an issue for this breaker.
Duracho on the Alchemist, Blink Dagger around the corner. Next time round, he will be able to get that catch.
And they will be able to get the double connections constantly with the Soulbind with that as well too.
Some very, very difficult fights ahead here for LGD.
He's getting too tanky, too fast on the side of Gaming. Ace, Heart soon on the menu for him too. Quinn, he's got it finished. Even though they've got this Demonic Purge, he's just too tanky. 6-1 and 3 so far in this Necro. This pick seems to be a bit too much for them to deal with at the moment. Tier 2 now, starting to get pressured. Can they mount a defense here? This is not an easy spot to fight.
They have got the ultimates, but at the same time, so do Gaming Gladiators. Unless someone in LGD is able to find their way to the back lines, find this silence, so Celery's going to be able to put a stop to any sort of team fight that LGD try and respond with.
Yeah, not easy for you to just like charge through or anything like that either. There's a Primal Beast, there's a Soulbind that's always going to be stopping you. Gaming, they're just playing as a unit so far, not giving the opportunities to LGD. Shiro is getting some good time to get that farm going. He's got his Manta, got the Mask of Madness, but he needs more to be able to actually show up to these fights, it feels like. This is great for farming, but definitely needs a BKB this game.
Planet.
Okay. I mean, Duracho a bit far forward, but has BKB.
Got the ult upon him.
Ace, flanking.
Trying to see if we can get the grab on it while you smile, but a quick dive is there. Just a bit of a poke from the supports, but nothing more to push Gaming Gladiators back as they'll continue to push on and look to take this tier 2.
Now, Duracho knows his strength. Having that silencer behind him too, a tier 2 default very early, pre-20 minutes.
Also able to hold on to the tier 2 top. They did have quite a few heroes up on this top lane, LGD, but unable to push the tier 2 themselves.
Duracho, okay. He always wants to play super aggressive. He wants to go for the SD. They might be able to sandwich Planet here.
I think they will. Ace coming in from the side. Planet, he can't run from this one. Jump forward to low ground for Duracho. Another kill and more gold here for the Alchemist.
Just getting way too much on the map. Quinn shows himself top. They have a ward on top of him. There's just no way for them to punish it. They do have... Okay, the center's kind of in the area, but they can't go for it.
Very close to this sort of timing, 21 minutes or so in, where they're going to have to deal with these 2 cores that have hearts upon them. You know, Ace has pretty much got his done, Quinn's already got his.
And a BKB Alchemist.
That's a lot of HP that you've got to try and get through with the damage that you've got on LGD's lineup. And just sort of look at the heroes, and unless everything connects perfectly, it's hard to sort of see these situations in which these cores of Gaming Gladiators get taken down.
Yeah, can you protect your egg? You're going to need absolutely everything to connect perfectly, it feels like, for LGD in these next few moments. And for Gaming, the pace is going to continue accelerating. Roche soon to be on the menu for them too. Continue to look to just control the map before that. Full Hyperstone now on Duracho.
Octarine done now at least for nothing to say, so at that higher frequency of weaving in and out of the fights with these charges.
Keep that farm going, but it still feels like they need more and more time, which just still doesn't feel if it's really benefiting them. The Gaming, it's just been consistently like 6 to 8k gold lead, even though they're playing versus this Midas.
I just sweeping the map, taking these towers down, and LGD, they will not be showing up to defend them.
Oh, they have this deep ward already placed down too. Why? Has to be careful.
If he gets any closer to this high ground, I mean, even as he is,
He can't
still
even
going to
get
get caught.
close.
Diracho just jumps in under the tier 2.
Now they know that ward is there, but they get a free kill out of it, and potentially even going to get to pressure 2 lanes off of this here with Diracho on one and Quinn on the other. How does LGD slow this down? I mean, they're going to continue to try to get this charge, of course, to clear these waves, but need more time for Shiro to feel ready to fight.
Yeah, now BKB at the least a necessity, but still a couple of thousand gold away from that.
And the necessity, of course, it'll help protect it, but his damage is definitely starting to feel, I mean, it's still fun to feel pretty lackluster even with that BKB. They need everything to connect perfectly. They need this egg. The Sunray, it feels like, is going to be probably their highest damage potential.
For Gladiators, Roshan is at the ready if they want to look for that one first.
They almost have Aghanims also now finished up on Quinn. And with those early boots of travel that he was able to get to, it's always this way to answer something like the Spirit Breaker, right? He goes to one lane, clears it out, and then he can go join his team constantly while they're on the hunt for this SB. But nothing to stay. He's doing a good job, at least, of keeping these waves quite cleared out. And he's only died the 3 times, so he's getting some pretty decent recovery. Buys his shard, so going to be going for that planar pocket to absorb some type of spells at the least to protect Shiro. Not too often, I think I've seen people purchase it.
He has eyes on Quinn, but of course nothing really that he can do about this.
Now the cool thing is, I guess, with the planar pocket, it's the magic resist too. 75% magic resist. If you eat that with a Reaper Scythe, you're probably just going to live through it. So it's going to be a cool itemization here from Nothing to Say to tank spells for Shiro.
Potentially trying to cut some of the creep waves coming in on this top lane, but Gaming Gladiators have already got one. He's right up to the tier 2.
And Diracho, I mean, he has AC done. He's just brute forcing these towers. The map is shrinking more and more.
Shiro with the illusions, trying to at least hold back the waves in the mid lane.
BKB is finished.
Definitely feels like moments away from Gaming Gladiators, maybe trying their luck at a high ground push. As I say, that Roshan is there, so
probably going to wait for
likely that they'll go for the pickup on that one.
Yeah, it's going to shift up top in about 40 seconds, so imagine they're going to set up around there.
That very much feels like that they're in a position where they don't really need to take too many risks right now. Gaming Gladiators, a pretty comfortable hold on the game.
He gets the catch, Tofu!
In with the inks, well, they don't even have to use the Reaper Scythe early. They'll jump in now, still won't get the kill with it, but they get the kill after.
Oh, that was sick by Tofu. What a quick blink into insta-popping that Inkswell. 20 seconds till that Roche starts shifting. They're already positioned around the top lane. Gaming's just kind of cruising. Playing the map, it feels like wherever they want. Even though LGD is getting the farm, they are completely avoiding everywhere that Gaming Gladiators does go.
LGD, I mean, in terms of items, we'll see sort of what pickups they are able to get in place before this kind of Roshan pickup into high ground push that's very likely to be coming in from Gaming Gladiators does occur. But the BKB, it's there. He's got the money for the shard if he wants to pick that up. Anything to sort of provide him some defensive capabilities. Trying to get that small crit online as well, Shiro, just to have some sort of damage against this inevitable push that Gaming Gladiators is going to come charging at them with.
And that feels like it's going to be the big issue, is will they have enough damage to go through Ace, the Heart, Primal Beast, the Alchemist, who's incredibly tanky, and this Necrophos. And now an Aegis as well, too, which they cannot contest up here. The levels as well, too, on the supports. I mean, that's something I'm always going to be looking at for the Phoenix. It does feel like he's going to be one of the most important ones for the side of LGD. Still not level 12. So with this pace of this game, he's not able to find the connection or get those extra levels from fights. As yeah, this Roche, it's gone.
Be able to finish the tier 1 mid. Get an extra bit of a cash bonus here for the team.
Any little bit they can get, they need.
LGD has to be very careful with their position. Outside of the base right now. Are in a spot that Gaming Gladiators is starting to close in upon. High ground surely going to be the best place for LGD to try and make their stand here against Gaming Gladiators.
Gaming even wants to go for that high ground too. We'll have to wait how long they want to push the issue forward here. Shiro does find an illusion rune, probably one of the better ones that he can get in this type of style game where things have slowed down massively. Cutting some waves, does get that top wave cut out there. So this is the final wave that Gaming has if they do want to go threaten that high ground. Level 18 has been hit on Dyrachyo. See if he does threaten a little bit here. He wants to.
He knows it's so hard for LGD to punish any sort of jump that he wants to go for on this push.
Yeah, he can just start getting the poke. Quinn gonna start throwing those heals out as well too. This tower's dropping, there's no glyph. 13 seconds.
Got to do something there, LGD, otherwise they're going to be losing a rack.
That was perfect timing really for Gaming to take advantage of that glyph still being down.
Clear out the illusions.
And the rack's gone.
They kept the range, they're onto the melee. LGD, what's the plan? Fire Spirits for now seem to be enough to stop the push here from Gaming Gladiators.
They've got the lanes cut, so Luna does get both of those, so no more creep wave up on the top lane, so we'll buy them some time. A nice move from Shiro. Nothing to say, considering a charge, but doesn't want to start a fight just yet into this Aegis. Nice play from Shiro. Yeah, little illusion micro. They're making a big deal there. Level 18 now, and he does have that small crit finish. So now maybe this is that indicator for LGD. This could be the call where they feel like they're going to start having some damage to look for the fight. BKB also finished on new, so he can actually get into those fights and not have to worry about just getting instantly globaled and get nothing off.
There's a double damage as well on the top side of the river. Would be quite the pickup if LGD are able to catch wind of that one.
Gaming, they're going to continue the siege.
BKB on Quinn. He's also ready to go fully in on the push. Dyrachyo onto the barracks. LGD, they may just have to let this set go by the looks of it. They don't try anything on the defensive on this one, so a full set of racks will be taken down by Gladiators.
Yeah, still too afraid.
Still 2.5 minutes left with this Aegis to potentially push for more. They are going to have to head back and deal with the state of the rest of the creep waves as they have been, as they consistently pushed in. Shiro really pulling off the work here to keep this game alive.
Charge through. My goodness. Very deep positioning here. Playing around his vision, though, does have that ward on the high ground. I say should be fine.
Gladiators, they'll send Dyrachyo down bottom to deal with the creep wave on that lane. The rest of the team ready to start pushing back out the mid.
They're doing kind of this cool maneuvers, though, where it's, yeah, the objectives are being taken from Gaming, but look at the gold. You know, it's starting to get a little bit better there for LGD with the way that they're just playing the full farm game around the map rather than contesting the push.
And maybe feeling strong enough to set up for something themselves here, LGD. Smoke up with Shiro, feeling that they're now at a point where they can try for looking for a team fight.
Dyrachyo on the front lines, though. The DD still in the top lane.
I mean, ideally, who you're finding here? Do you want something that, like the quick squishy heroes? You want to get on the silencer first, take him out? You know, what would be the ideal catch for LGD?
You probably at least want to know where the silencer is, and someone has to stop the global to come out. But we'll see who they want to jump first.
They've got eyes on the two of them.
Ace gets the charge.
Let's interrupt the initial attempt from you. The global silence comes out. The supernova's there, but Gaming Gladiators just they can fight this out and keep to the distance. Ace will get caught by the initial stun, but he's so taken.
Got the grab on both.
Turn. The soul by there, the grab as well. Dyrachyo picks up the double. Shiro. He's got the BKB in the Eclipse. Ace, he's somehow still alive. Finally, he'll fall. There's nothing to say. Takes him out with the ultimate. You'll see Shiro able to BKB TP out. So LGD at least able to cut their losses there. And they do find a kill in return in that fight. Nothing to say. Only just able to catch Ace underneath the tower. So something to be found, but still not quite what LGD were hoping for.
Look how much they have to commit just to kill Ace. And he actually had the BKB coming out on the courier. So it's good that they got the jump right there. Otherwise, he absolutely just lives.
And now down the mid they go.
Dyrachyo still has 30 seconds with this Aegis. Quinn backing him up. They used absolutely everything there on the side of LGD. No BKB at the ready for Shiro. Him walking up, he could just get exploded instantly if he does.
Yeah, not a great fight, of course, for LGD, but it definitely could have gone a lot worse. If they lost their Luna in that situation, it would have been rough. Nothing to say. Trying to clear out the way, put a stop to the push. There. In with the summer out of
8 seconds.
Dyrachyo's down once. He's got his BKB ready here for the second round.
He's got the blink as well.
He's going to be out. Nothing to say, though. He charges forward. Instantly gets clipped by the Phantom's Embrace from Tofu. They turn with a slow, jump forward again. They're trying to control the Spirit Breaker. They'll throw out the dust. Another slow, not going to connect. So Ace trying to close in, but the charges back up. Nothing to say, able to put a stop to the push and get away.
We'll live to see another day. Tofu will be okay. They're looking to keep going. How long on this egg? 20 seconds. Full butterfly now for Shiro.
I mean, Shiro, he's silently, slowly, he's doing it. You know, the farm is there.
Can they keep him alive? BKB is back up. Can they protect him? Push just continuing to commence. Glyph still cooldown for about 4 minutes.
Who goes in first for LGD? It's got to be New.
And look at Duracho the whole time he's been doing this, turning that Radiance off consistently when he's going for the...
And he's in.
Duracho's in.
The BKB's off just in time there for Shiro. He's still going to get clipped by the Soul Bind. He tried to turn it with the Glimpse. Ace is falling low. Shiro focused on it, wasn't able to take down Ace.
Deleted.
Duracho back up the running away with the BKB, but the physical damage is coming in. Duracho finally able to keep to his distance. Quinn gets back in on the midst of it.
He's in the middle of everybody.
Side. He's able to finish off Shiro. Quinn taking down the Luna. Shiro out with no buyback available. He's spent up for the butterfly. See LGD with the disruption, but they're not going to be able to find anything more. I mean, it looked to be a solid defense from LGD, but the fact that Quinn, he knew that he could get straight back in there, finish off the Luna. It's a big kill to be found, because if Shiro survives through that, LGD, they definitely be looking to make a play within this next minute. With Shiro going down there because of that play from Quinn, LGD, they'll have to hold back once more.
Look how much damage Shiro was able to do. I mean, Ace popped BKB and just literally died in seconds. I think he had even had like the Vindicator's Axe bonus armor. He literally died so fast trying to get the double grab. But Quinn, that was a really cool call to make. Like, you see Duracho drops to what? I think it was like 100 HP or something like that. Quinn just jumps into 4 or 5 heroes and ends up just getting away because of it.
Yeah, these players really knowing their limits. We sort of saw it yesterday, right, with Yator and his morph, forming into these crazy situations. This game is Quinn just going right into the midst of pretty much, 4 heroes to take down that crucial kill. And keep this game for now held in Gaming Gladiators' favor.
Definitely seeing though that Shiro, if they don't give him the respect, he is going to be doing a lot of damage now at this point with this butterfly.
Keeping this game alive here, LGD.
He's consistently just been sitting at that 6K gold lead. And high ground is always going to be the best place for them to get this defense. It's always going to allow YuSmile to have kind of like perfect positioning with his Egg and Sunray. They're looking to actually make an aggressive move themselves. They're feeling confident perhaps after that last fight. It was very close to them just wiping, pretty much everybody there on the side of gaming. So don't blame them if they feel quite a bit more confident now.
Might see a smoke from Gaming Gladiators themselves as well. Yeah, Celery's ready to pop it.
Okay,
smoke on smoke.
Maybe reading the movements. I mean, Roche is soon going to be coming up.
You pick up as well for nothing to say. Has his Lincoln, so not easy as it before to sort of set up from any of these single target disruptions or plays from Gaming Gladiators.
Roche, it's a long spawn.
Ace, smoke dispelled. Both teams aware of one another.
Duracho potentially setting up for something here. They see up around this top rune. He's actually going to go for nothing to say. Bulldoze, and Lincoln's will eat it. He'll be okay.
LGD.
Time being bought. Shiro getting bigger and bigger. Getting these buff ups too. I saw the Solar Crest picked up before that last fight as well too from YuSmile. They're starting to throw their eggs into this Luna basket. And Roche 1.5. GD getting more and more time.
I think they want to try and contest this Roshan. They certainly feel a whole lot stronger right now, LGD.
Yeah, especially, I mean, with the Lincolns, in particular for nothing to say. Now he's going to be able to just straight charge through these fights and perhaps just eat one of these big spells or two, especially with Planar Pocket too, right? He could just tank it off one of his teammates. He's going to play patient around here, but that does potentially mean that this map is going to get farmed out from nothing to say and from Shiro. Satanic soon on the horizon for Shiro.
Gladiators, they want to try and look for the hit before the Roche spawns.
Get an angle.
And they highly suspect that LGD will start to set up outside of the base. They remove themselves. But the high ground here, who are they able to jump upon? Duracho goes towards the creep. Not going to find anyone there though. So they're in towards the triangle, LGD.
That was close to disaster. Lanes just being shoved in though. Look at bottom and mid. Nothing to say. Has completely pushed those into the tier 2s now at this point. New? And why? Able to get away. 15 seconds, Roche. They know it's got to be up soon, Gaming. Just continue to play in that corner area.
LGD's got to get over here. Smoke up from themselves this time. Full Satanic done on Shiro.
Check this illusion push in mid. Hey, Quinn, he's actually got to go answer it a little bit here. Double catapult wave with these double illusions. And LGD smoked up. They saw Quinn move. This could be their opportunity to strike. 28 seconds, no TP for Quinn to join his team.
getting all these little lines. The fact that they've now got the 2 Lotus Orbs ready for the next fight, Shiro.
My goodness, look at New. He knows.
It's
perfect.
They take down Duraggio. They'll be able to bring down Celery as well. Gaming Gladiators trapped in the corner. They didn't quite have the detection for Celery. He'll use himself up, but there's no escape for this silencer.
So sick.
I mean, just trapped in the corner, their Gladiators. They were not ready for LGD to come and pincer them in, and now open up the opportunity for LGD to head into the pit and get Roshan for themselves.
It's the big brain split push plays that were coming out. Spirit Breaker cutting bottom, Luna cutting mid. Eventually, someone reacts as soon as they see Quinn. No hesitation. They know exactly where they were.
The way that they've held on in this game, kept their cool. Now they're striking back, and they're striking back hard. Gladiators are going to be shaking in their boots a little bit with the way that these last few fights have gone. These moves absolutely huge for LGD, as LGD now starting to take the lead in this game.
I mean, Shiro is pretty much completely neck and neck with that Alchemist now. And an Aegis.
It really feels like some of the best Luna performance we've seen, really, honestly, with how Shiro's done in terms of finding the farm, keeping the game alive with his sort of the map movements of himself and the illusions. He's been doing so much.
I mean, him and nothing to say, even though you don't really... It's like this invisible kind of impact from this Spirit Breaker, but the amount of space that he's been able to make just clearing creep waves with this charge, it's gotten them completely back into it, and now they're potentially the ones going for this high ground.
Absolutely. I mean, now for Gaming Gladiators, now that they're playing from behind, how does this change things up for them? What sort of conversations do you think is going on right now in the Gladiators booth?
Good question. They're probably still feeling pretty confident with their fight, but they're definitely feeling a little bit more scared of this Luna. They probably need to start figuring out the answer for nothing to say, because he's just getting way too big on this Spirit Breaker now too, and
DD in the bottle.
I mean, got everything at the ready.
Shiro's very close, about 1,000 gold away from being able to pick up the full Daedalus as well. This Luna, an absolute terror in these team fights.
I mean, Why Smile is also queuing up for the big play. He's going for that refresher, feeling they do not have an answer for the egg. If they don't get the global off, he's got to get these eggs off every single time. Ooh. We'll see what Shiro does go down this route. Changing item build a little bit, but he is just going to go Daedalus.
Gladiators, do they want to try and fight into this Aegis? 3.5 minutes here for Shiro.
They don't have the same way to be able to push these waves invisibly, right? Like, now it's difficult for them to actually keep their lanes pushed out. They don't have these illusion pushes. They don't have the Spirit Breaker kind of charge thing to be able to deal with it. So they kind of have to stick as this unit now on Gaming Gladiators for the next, probably for these next like 2-3 minutes. LGD patiently waiting.
I mean, at this
we'll be able to find the Demon Edge. A big kill.
They do. They'll be able to stop a bit of that damage being built up by Duraggio. Shiro, he's ready to start pushing.
I mean, this building dies quick versus the DD.
Forces out the fortification. Now it's Gladiator's turn to try and do something on the defensive. We'll see if they're able to put a stop to this one.
I mean, as soon as that tower drops, these racks are going to drop in seconds.
Try and get the jump on his Shiro, but the Mantis popped. Ace has to back away. Has to say him with the charge, but he gets pushed back.
Duraggio.
Try and go for the concoction, but it's onto the illusion. Shiro is able to put the BKB. Starting to get a bit low himself, so doesn't feel confident, even though he had the Aegis to finish off the racks. He'll back off for now. Daedalus now picked up.
That was pretty cool from Duraggio, actually. Doesn't have to use his BKB. He's scared of like the reflection of the concoction. Actually forces Shiro to use his. They'll back away.
They've got so many ways as well to sort of buff up and protect Shiro on the pushes. Right, with the Lotus picked up by New, the Lotus picked up by Planet. So many things to just throw upon this Luna and just allow Shiro to get in and do the damage. LGD, they may have been pushed back, but I'm pretty sure they'll be looking to go again. Still 2 minutes to play aggressive with the Aegis.
Yeah, some nice itemization. I mean, playing into the Silencer, playing into Necro even with Grimstruck. I mean, this Lotus could be incredibly effective. And Gaming now a bit trapped inside their own base. Duraggio.
Can they get the jump on him?
And they get jumped.
Still open things up. They'll drop the global, but the supernova with the sun ray. It bursts through Duraggio. He's out for 75. New Ogre Seal toteming forward. They're pushing in on the mid lane. They'll be ready to approach the high ground again and maybe even force out this buyback from Duraggio. He's out for 70. Quinn.
Now Quinn also.
Thanks to Lucent Beam. Charge it for nothing to say. Knocks it back at the ball. The other
Eclipse.
but the BKB's out. Quinn backs away. The turn of the soul bind. Jump forward. Duraggio tries to go for the Abyssal Blade stun, but it's onto the Lotus Door. Stuns himself. Ace in the midst of the all the sides coming.
They get the Reaper.
It takes nothing to say down. There's a
Shiro's in trouble.
He's getting completely trampled upon by Ace. That's Shiro down. Can they do it a second time round? BKB is still on cooldown for 2 seconds. He's going to have it up now. He's ready to press it, ready to turn. Looks towards Duraggio with a Lucent Beam, but Ace crashing across the two of them. Shiro is
got to run.
He's dropping the TP out of the BKB. He's come to it again. Yes, Shiro able to TP out. As he'll escape, you will not. As Gladiators, they'll find you, but they won't get anything else. across. No, I don't know how able to live there. Despite his BKB coming to an end, I mean, both of the things around there. The fact that his BKB came back up just in time for him to be able to survive that initial burst from Gladiators. And then even though it was a short one, he's able to TP away. Both teams expending a buyback. Duracho with a buyback for Gladiators, nothing to say with a buyback from LGD.
Quinn is still a definite problem for them, though. I'm seeing him in these fights just absolutely wrecking everybody. He gets ignored for a second, and I watched Shiro pop Satanic and turn to try to hit, and I'm just watching his health actually going down anyway, so does still have to be careful. Still showing that it's anybody's game. These buybacks, though, got to be very crucial. Duracho having his for the defense there, and then also now Spirit Breaker, nothing to say. He used his to try to join that fray afterward. Yeah, he got worried.
He got the BKB purchase as well, now ready for the next fight. So a new BKB on him, close to the 25 as well, on nothing to say. MKB now finally done with the courier coming back up. Duracho's able to pick up his Demon Edge. Big items for themselves. Hex for Quinn.
They have two different ways now to be able to go for these big plays, to go for this big double plays as well, too, with the Grimstroke. More and more ways to break this Linken's, more and more ways to go for nothing to say. Tofa with his Aghanims, of course, finished up. Well, now, another element that LGD does have to answer. This Luna illusion is going to be terrifying.
Oh, it is. We've seen many times how much this Dark Portrait can do against the right carry, and against this Shiro Luna, it's certainly the one to get a Dark Portrait upon.
If they have these butterfly,
talking about Shiro,
to have on these Dark Portraits. Shiro.
Quinn trying to close in, Tofa's able to get the Silence, to get the Hex as well, but it was Lotus back up towards Quinn. Able to stop, he's a three-man who's not into the charge. A beautiful jump from you. Gaming Gladiators, they have to run. BKB for Duracho is on the retreat. Another charge for nothing to say over towards Ace. Quinn getting completely kited as LGD back off away from him during his BKB.
Can they
again. Catches there. Who's up into the charge? Do they have the damage to threaten Quinn? The buyback's now coming out for Tofa.
Shiro.
Turn back over. They've got the Hex in on the Shiro. Shiro needs help. He's pushes up to the side, but still going to be kept the ground alone. They're finishing him off. Shiro out of the game. The China want nothing to say. Nothing to say. He has no buyback. He cannot afford to get caught, and he won't. Charges over towards the mid lane. This is back up.
Can he get away?
The TPing over. Look like they have the detection here on the front line, so nothing to say. He'll live. A big escape from him. If he goes down, he's down for 2 minutes.
I mean, massive stun from New, but still the issue is Quinn. He's zoning 4 heroes away while protecting his allies.
And they find the big one. They take Shiro out. Buyback is available for him. We'll see how much they're able to take here, Gaming Gladiators, before the buybacks come out from LGD. As Duracho in on the mid lane, tier 3 to the gone, onto the backs. There's the buyback from Shiro. Gaming Gladiators, they respect it immediately.
They got out big there on the side of Gaming, forcing these buybacks. Roche, 50 seconds still coming back up. How did they come win? Actually, like, he's really just zoning 4 or 5 heroes away constantly, even though his Alchemist is getting burst in a lot of these situations. Quinn, he is a standing start, 9-1-6 so far in this Necro.
Sort of offensive-wise in terms of the items, we're seeing LGD just feeling that they have to lean towards the defensive. You know, Shiro is queuing up himself a Lincoln Sphere for the next item. Just really doesn't want to get caught or suffer the threat of being just jumped upon by this instant Hex catch from Quinn.
Hey, Lotuses and Lincolns definitely are the dream versus these single target abilities, but I don't know, I'm seeing him switching a lot. Yeah, okay, now he's got the Rapier going up. I saw him do this before.
Let's hope we get that one.
Maybe he feels like he does need it, just be able to bring down this Necro. Their overall damage, it's not fast enough to kill him, it seems like. He's getting this regen just to build up constantly. And yeah, just the overall damage he does in these team fights. Neck and neck still, 6K lead back up for Gaming. A lot of buybacks, of course, to use. The most important thing here, LGD used quite a bit there.
They did, the big one. Shiro and nothing to say. The time for theirs. Of course, over on the side of Game Gladiators, Duracho is still on the 3-minute cooldown himself.
Absolutely.
2 minutes or so until we see Roshan back in the game.
Ninja gear picked up for Duracho, level 25 also has been attained.
Could make the difference as well. Those last few jumps of Duracho, they have been kind of caught out by the Lotus Sword if they're able to get out. This time, maybe making the jump from the Ninja Gear smoke up could allow him to get in with that opening Abyssal Blade before LGD can react.
This could also be a big difference maker in the fights. Why now has the refresher.
Oh, I mean, we're seeing some fantastic eggs and sunrays come out from him.
He can now have that double, of course, and he's level 18.
Yep.
So there's that big one. His mana pool is quite lackluster, though. I think he's lost a bit of it. He's at 699 mana, so pretty much has to just refresh her an egg. Has to be a little bit careful about that second.
This could be, I mean, Gaming Gladiators is ready for this one.
That's smart.
LGD, they smoked up new.
Barnes coming in.
Trying to get some information up to get some vision here for maybe New to follow up with a potential boost on the illusions. They're pressuring in on the mid lane as well. Gaming Gladiators, they might have to do something about this. It's going to be a fair bit of damage done potentially with these creep waves pushing in.
I don't think they want to go back though. Last time the Quinn went back,
these illusions. And his barracks are taking quite the hit in the mid lane.
Likely to fall. I mean, these illusions.
Yeah, they have to put the fortification at least there.
I mean, Quinn is walking back. Okay, so he's trying to save his TP to be able to join his team. But Rax, at least the range Rax might just fall down. Finish it off. Roche, 30 seconds.
Yeah, it's sort of a slightly longer respawn, so definitely working in favor of Gaming Gladiators, allowing them time to get back and hold the base and maybe get back over towards the pit if they do want to try and contest LGD in this position.
Do they have I don't think they have a smoke left on the side of Gaming though. They have a couple Ninja Gears, but I don't see a smoke on them to make it their way back up there. They're going to go as a unit.
I mean, do you think you have to still try and force this fight, or do you know, what's the call here from Gladiators? This could be a difficult fight to take.
They probably still want to fight because they feel maybe like they have like some of this number advantage with Quinn having this buyback. Got to make the call quick though, because this Roche dies in.
Oh, it's going to be going down quickly. There's the smoke delivered out. Gaming Gladiators, they'll start to head towards the pit, but they've got to do it fast.
Look at the positioning from Nothing to Say. Be able to break the smoke.
He's in on the high ground. It's going to be hard for Gladiators to get past him. Shiro and you getting the space to finish off.
They're on Nothing to Say.
Able to get the grab. They turn straight away. The side comes down. And Nothing to Say is able to put the BKB jump ball from Ace. Nothing to Say is able to lift for that. He's onto the egg with the chemical range. He's able to take it.
Solo kills it.
Takes the supernova out. Turns over to one dude. Put the BKB down. With the turn. Gets the Aegis on the Luna. Dragon tries to stand his ground against him, but he's caught by the disruption. They're onto the Luna. The Luna's out the once. He's not got a lot of buyback. This second life hit for Shiro could be a rough one. He's able to get out of this one. Gaming Gladiators picks up the rapier. He's not able to get out. He tries to put the refresher, but he's out, and he just sped up. His buyback, of course, still on cooldown. He's out of the game for 2 minutes. A huge window now for Gaming Gladiators to try and end this one.
They had the bodies. Dyrachyo solo killed the egg. He just full commits onto it.
No Shiro here.
That's got to be it. I mean, they can just push the two most important heroes from
Nothing to Say will be back in 20 seconds. 20 seconds and buyback will be there for the Spirit Breaker, but no Luna for the defense.
They at least have one of the extra eggs still up with that buyback from the Phoenix, since he did just die on the first go. I mean, Gaming just throw bodies in at Quinn.
I mean, can they hold?
It's not easy without Shiro. He's all the damage. They're going for the Megas. They're playing it safe here, just in case.
Nothing to Say. The buyback available. There will be a 4v5 at the least here for the defense. The rack's gone.
Buildings dropping. Spirit Breaker buyback with still 60 seconds. No Shiro.
LGD. Nothing to Say, trying to start off the defense. Jump off from you. In with the Hoostone straight away on towards Dyrachyo. Dyrachyo stepping away. He's able to put the BKB. Off for Nothing to Say. Bashing it on towards Ace. They're bringing Ace down low. The Supernova pops successfully.
The building, the objectives are being taken.
The base exposed. They've got to do something crazy here, LGD, if they want to hold.
Dyrachyo being careful. 10 seconds for chemical range. He's letting Quinn just hit the throne.
They're doing it safely. They're doing it carefully here, Gaming Gladiators. Another charge forward for Nothing to Say. Trying his best to tank the spells. Loads are thrown out upon him. Reflexively, Abyssal Blade from Dyrachyo. Celery trying to hit onto the Ancient himself. 20 seconds. They've got the fortification. LGD doing their best, holding out for a Shiro here, but he may not respawn tonight as he's dead for 15 more seconds.
Dyrachyo's focusing in.
Onto the Ancient. 10 seconds until the Luna's up. Nothing to Say. Trying to put a stop to it all. He's in with the Who's up. He's got the two of them. He gets the jump. The Martin's over the Dyrachyo. He's dead. It doesn't matter. He's finishes off the Ancient. GG is called. Gaming Gladiators will take this game one.
What a team fight up top. I mean, beautiful stuff from Gaming Gladiators, just having the confidence to just walk in there and take out Nothing to Say. I mean, throwing everything onto him. He feels so tanky. He's got bulldoze. He's got all this capabilities to try to protect himself, but they still burst him through it, and somehow Dyrachyo solo kills the egg when it means everything. Wow.
I mean, an insane final push and a close push as well. You know, if there was sort of anything like a 10-second less on that cooldown of the buyback of Shiro, if he was able to turn up for that defense, maybe they could have held. But as it was, Gladiators realizing that they had this window to go all in to end the game before Shiro was able to do anything with the rapier pickup.
I mean, look at these damage numbers in particular. Quinn doing about 60,000 damage in this game. The next highest on his team, Dyrachyo with like 27. Shiro also, of course, carrying heavily inside that later stages, 52k damage, but overall Gaming, this Necro picked seemed to be pretty perfect for Quinn to take over.
I think it certainly did. Either way, an insane opening here to this final day of the International. Both teams absolutely playing their hearts out. But as it is, Gaming Gladiators, they will close up and take this.
E aí, Projo